Everyone around me is going about their day with the exact same goal. Ultimately, to find happiness. They want to improve their lives in order to be more consistently happy. Everything we do, we think, will get us closer to that goal. But are we all misguided? Am I misguided? Everything I do seems to be for that goal. For example, right now, I'm going on a meditation retreat in order to further my peace of mind.
Thank you, and again, welcome to San Francisco.
This is my first transcendental meditation retreat here in beautiful Maroon County. I want to improve my ability when meditating to focus my mind, transcend ordinary thought, and ultimately find a sense of spiritual fulfillment. Now, this goal may not be like other worldly goals, and it may be subtle, but it may still miss the ultimate pursuit of spirituality. Because the highest form of spirituality is said to provide an unshakable peace and unconditional happiness. So how do we find this lasting happiness? As Rupert Spira said, the only possibility of lasting happiness is to identify with something lasting. We should look for it in something lasting. And that's ourself. The only thing permanent is our being itself, our sense of being before we label it, the pure feeling of I am, or core subjectivity. And if this sense of lasting fulfillment is achieved, Rupert says that it wouldn't cause us to not pursue anything in life that we would have previously pursued in order to be happy. For example, a job or a relationship. By the way, both of which I'm actively pursuing right now. And I finally got some potential jobs lined up and a relationship I may introduce you to very soon. But see, that's the thing. I'm pursuing both a job and a relationship because I know they'll make me happy. And I also know that this happiness won't be permanent. Things will change and disappoint me. I know I shouldn't fully invest my happiness in anything outside of me, like a job or a relationship, because they won't always make me happy. But even though there may be ups and downs, even just the pursuit of those things makes me happy. And while I'm at peace with where I am right now and happy most of the time, I still lack both those aspects of life. And I want to close the gap. But Rupert teaches that we can come to the realization that we're already and always naturally fulfilled and complete. At our core, our pure being itself lacks nothing. And if we realize this, we may still pursue things in life, but those pursuits would come from a completely different place. He says that the motive for such pursuits will not come from a place of lack, but rather from a place of fulfillment and desire to share that sense of fulfillment with others and to celebrate it. I get that, and I've experienced it. What does it really mean to celebrate our sense of fulfillment? I can think back to many times when I've been mostly satisfied with where I'm at, and anything more would just be icing on the cake. With that mindset, things just seem to flow effortlessly, and we usually build up a momentum that keeps the good stuff coming. We can exude a sense of complete satisfaction in life, and it's an energy that can be easily noticed by others in how we behave and interact with them. But I have to contend that even when we're mostly satisfied, any further pursuits are still to get that little bit extra out of life. They're not absolutely necessary, but they're still things we lack and want. It's not a desperate sense of lack, but it's still a preference or desire nonetheless. We still feel the urge to move forward. Now, this may just describe the normal worldly pursuits that I've experienced so far. It's the ideal mindset Abraham Hicks talks about when we're happy with what we've got, but eager for more. But I may be wrong to think that this is the best form of happiness we can find in life. Is there really an unconditional, lasting happiness that we can feel no matter what happens? For example, how do we remain happy in the midst of disappointing or distressing events? Rupert teaches that we can stay with whatever negative feelings arise and realize they have no essential meaning. It's because the feeling doesn't last. It may persist for a long time, but there are moments when it's not present, when we're feeling good and not thinking about our troubles. And eventually it may fade altogether. And anything that doesn't last can't be essential to who we really are. We have a sense that what we really are is ever present, no matter how we're feeling. A presence that's always stable in the background of our constantly changing thoughts and emotions. When we're distressed, if we really investigate the feeling, we can realize the emotion is just a neutral sensation that doesn't even feel bad if we don't create a story about it. A story that defines who we absolutely are. Because it's not what we are. According to the non-dual teachings, we're not separate and limited individuals that need to be defended and sustained. With introspection, we can come to realize who we really are. The veil of ignorance can be lifted and we can see through the illusion of being limited to our bodies and thoughts. I realize conceptually from these teachings that what we really are is a single, infinite, and unchanging consciousness. And if we really knew this, we would feel the complete fulfillment of that infinite being. It would feel like a lasting happiness in our relative worldly experiences. But there's a reason that teachers like Rupert Spira use that phrase of lasting happiness. Now, it may just be a concession in language to explain something that can't be apprehended with language, and that's what Rupert says, but I still suspect that as these apparent human beings that we are, we can never truly experience absolute happiness or that sense of pure being in our daily lives. We live in an apparent relative world, and that's how we experience things. Even if we know our true nature, there may still be intermittent moments of distress and dissatisfaction. They may be less intense and shorter lived, but it's what allows for a sense of happiness in the first place. In order to be experienced as such, all feelings of happiness would have to be juxtaposed to a feeling of unhappiness. And only with that relative positioning can it even be described as lasting. Either way, I'm still on the spiritual path to get closer to the truth. And I'm open to the possibility of, if not an absolute happiness, at least a really solid, lasting one. Like and comment if this resonated with you, and subscribe below to follow me on my journey. See you next time.